Great.
Let's go. Let's let everybody in. Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you can hear me. If you can hear me, let us know in the chat where you're tuning in from. If you're in the UK, if you're in England, Scotland, Wales, Ireland. Sometimes we get some people from North America. So just let us know in the chat where you're tuning in from this afternoon or this morning, and if you can hear us okay. Just a couple of house rules as well. If I can ask everybody to keep their mics on mute, just so that we don't get any feedback while we're presenting, and because we have an amazing presentation for you this afternoon. And I love to see some faces as well. So if you want to put your cameras on, you're more than welcome to do so. Hi, Lai. Hi, Scott. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and begin. We are recording the webinar, so if you have any colleagues who are just tuning in or they're trying to log in, tell them they can still join. Anyone's registered, they will get a link to the webinar after we're finished. So hello again, good afternoon. My name is Nicole Compton and I am the Sales and Marketing Manager for Trade at the St. Lucia Tourism Authority. I've got two amazing co-hosts with me here this afternoon who are going to take you through a really fantastic dive presentation. We have Fiona Miller from Van Issachar Exclusive. She represents Anshasni and Jade Mountain here in the UK. So at all trade shows, trades events, you will meet Fiona and the team over at Van Issachar. We've also got Jaco Smith. He is going to be representing, telling you all about Scuba St. Lucia, and he used to run Scuba St. Lucia in St. Lucia. So he's very well equipped and very knowledgeable about the product. So if you have any questions on the hotels on Anshasni, Jade Mountain, or Scuba St. Lucia, definitely drop it in the chat. And what we'll do is we'll go through them before the end of the webinar. If there's anything that we can't answer, we will definitely come back to you, because I will share your contact details with the host and they will be able to follow up with you after the webinar. So let's head over to the presentation. I'm just gonna go ahead and share my screen. Hopefully you guys can see my screen okay. I'm just gonna move this over. So welcome to our dive webinar. I've got my contact details on the screen, but as I mentioned, I will be in touch with you after the webinar. We're going to be giving away a couple of amazing prizes today. Van Issachar, so Anshasni Jade Mountain, will be giving away a £50 Amazon voucher, and I will be giving away a St. Lucia goodie bag filled with some St. Lucian treats. So what we will do is we want you to engage with us in the chat as much as possible, ask us questions, let us know if you're enjoying the presentation, the images you're seeing on screen, and at the end of the webinar, we will do a random selector and pick 2 winners to give away these prizes to, just to say thank you for being here and for taking the time this afternoon to learn a little bit more about St. Lucia and the dive product that we have to offer. So just to tell you a bit about her resume. So St. Lucia is the only country in the world to be named after a woman. And we love to say, let her inspire you. Let this beautiful, lush green woman inspire you to come and visit. Hopefully she'll inspire you to inspire your friends, your families, your clients, your neighbors to visit us as well. She is an award-winning destination and she has many accolades under her belt. Some of those include the Caribbean's leading adventure tourism destination, Caribbean's leading nature destination, the Caribbean's best corporate retreat destination, and the world and the Caribbean's leading honeymoon destination. We've won the world's leading honeymoon destination 15 times, and it really goes to show that, you know, St. Lucia is quite well known for romance, also adventure, for nature, and also for diving as well. She has over 22 dive sites, and I will share those with you a little bit later on in the presentation. And also tropical weather all year round, ranging from high 20s to high 30 degrees Celsius, which means that the water around St. Lucia is nice and warm and perfect temperature for diving and snorkeling. She has some of the best top resorts in the world, and we'll be hearing from 2 of those top resorts this afternoon. She also has gourmet, world-class dining, and a diverse range of attractions and rich culture. To give you an idea of her resume, she's located in the Eastern Caribbean, bordered by the Caribbean Sea and the Atlantic Ocean. To the north of the island, you've got the island of Martinique. To the southwest coast, will find St. Vincent, and also on the northwest coast is Barbados. So she's perfectly situated for any clients who may want to island hop around the Caribbean. Because once you're in the Caribbean, you're definitely, it's definitely a best place to just hop around and see some of the other neighboring islands. The island measures 27 miles long and 14 miles wide. So she's fairly a small island, but it's jam-packed with so much nature and adventure. The inner area of the island is a rainforest, and you get to see that a lot as you transfer, whether it's from the international airport to any of the resorts, or as you walk around on some of the properties like the two you're going to be hearing from today. St. Lucia was so popular that she was fought over for many years. She was 7 times British, 7 times French. So we do have that rich culture. Oh, someone's just got their microphone on. We do have that rich culture in English and French. English is the main. I'm just going to go ahead and mute everybody. Just so I don't get any feedback. Okay. Yes, so we do have. Oh, just going to go back one. English is the main language that we speak, but we do speak broken French called Creole as part of that French heritage that we once had. The island has over 30 beaches, 22 dive sites, 25 waterfalls, rivers, and springs, and also 150 adventures for you to enjoy. She's also home to the Caribbean's only drive-through volcano. Yes, it is a live volcano where you can go into the center of and do a sulfuric mud bath and learn the history of the volcano. And I will tell you a little secret about the volcano coming up shortly. She has over 5,000 rooms available in St. Lucia, ranging from your all-inclusives, your boutique properties, your villas, your inns. There is something for everybody's taste and everybody's budget in St. Lucia. Couple of key areas that we want you to make sure that your clients visit once they're in St. Lucia. One of those will be Pigeon Island National Park, that's located in the north of the island. This is actually where the British were stationed when they were fighting for St. Lucia. So there you'll see some of the original ruins, their cannons, their houses, and it's also a home to a lot of our events that we host in St. Lucia as well. Another place that they must visit would be the Marigot Bay Marina. Marigot Bay is actually a unique marina area where it's actually also been described as a hurricane hole, because during the hurricane season, yachts and boats are able to go in there and they're actually quite protected from the hurricane. And a unique fact is that they filmed some of the original scenes from the 1960s Doolittle movie in Marigot Bay area. So it's an amazing place for you to visit, whether it's by boat or by land. Soufrière is another unique place to visit because it is home to the Caribbean's only drive-through volcano, and also our Piton Mountains, Gros Piton and Petit Piton. So this is where you can find a lot of our natural attractions, our waterfalls, our rivers, our springs, and you can also make chocolate there as well. In the south of the island, you will find the Heronora International Airport, and that's where all our flights from the UK, US, and Canada fly into. And we also do have a domestic regional airport as well in Castries, the capital, called George F.L. Charles. And that's where you'd fly in and out of the Caribbean, some of our neighboring islands. This is our iconic Piton Mountains. These are our 2 volcanic peaks which tower above the Caribbean Sea. They boast the most amazing views, whether from land or from sea, and the most amazing backdrops as well. You can hike the Pitons, you can swim and dive beneath the Pitons. So it's definitely an area that everybody visits in St. Lucia. They must head down to Soufrière, head down to the Pitons, and just take an amazing picture of it if you can, or do some of those amazing activities around it. This is our drive-through volcano that I mentioned earlier, where you can do a tour of the volcano and also do a sulfuric mud bath as well. And as you can see, it is a live volcano, and you can head into the center of it, and they'll tell you the history of that area and how many hundred years ago, when the volcano did erupt, it then formed that beautiful area of Soufrière and the beautiful volcanic peaks of the Pitons that we now have today. St. Lucia is fortunate enough to be surrounded by 2 waters of the Caribbean Sea and the Atlantic Ocean. But because she is a volcanic island, she doesn't only have golden sandy beaches, she does have black sandy beaches as well. And I think that makes the island so unique and so different, because she's one of the few islands who are able to really have that contrast of beaches around. This is Pigeon Island National Park that I mentioned earlier. So you can see the original ruins are still there, their cannons, their houses. This is actually Fort Rodney, where when they were fighting for St. Lucia, the British were actually stationed here and they would spy on the French in Martinique. And it wasn't until the 70s where they actually joined Pigeon Island to St. Lucia. And then along that causeway, which is where some of our popular resorts like Sandals Grand and the Landing sit. But you can also do a tour of Pigeon Island, you can do a hike, and you can also hire it out for private corporate events as well. It's probably one of my favorite places because you really get to enjoy that history and that culture of the destination. St. Lucia is more than just a sun, sea, and sand destination. I know we're here to talk about diving today, and I will go into a little bit more detail of that. But you can do so many other adventures as well. So if you have families who not everybody's into diving, they can definitely enjoy some of our nature adventures, whether it's zip lining, ATV biking, aerial tram tours, nature walks. There's just so much for you to enjoy. Legend has it that a dip in the mud bath will leave you feeling 10 years younger. So if you have anybody looking for a little bit of inexpensive spa, they want to knock off 10 years of their age, is definitely something that I recommend. As I mentioned at the beginning, we have over 22 dive sites and the water temperature stays pretty much the same throughout the summer and the winter months, or what we would consider the summer and the winter months. You can see some amazing underwater life, and St. Lucia is probably one of the most scenic islands in the Caribbean with first-class snorkeling and diving facilities available. We have a few professional dive centers on island, all available around the island, whether it's from the north to the south. But down in Soufrière, where Anne Chastanet and Jade Mountain are located, it's probably the best place for divers because all the reefs and all the wrecks are literally on your doorstep. And a lot of the dive centers, they actually do come down to Soufrière or in the Anse-Cochelle area to take guests to dive. Here is just a quick map of the dive sites that we have, ranging from the top in Pigeon Island and Sailor Point, all the way down to the Piton Falls down in that Soufrière Choiseul area. So any of the dive sites will be able to take you to those, just depending on what's on their program or the activity for that day. You can do you can do boat dives, also shore dives as well. And I'm sure you'll hear a little bit more about what Scuba St. Lucia has to offer coming up later. As we mentioned, the crystal clear waters around St. Lucia is perfect for snorkeling, and with a lot of the resort, you can actually snorkel just off the beach and get to see some of that amazing coral and underwater life. Keeping in theme with the water activities, you can also do paddleboarding with us, snoobar, sea helmet trek. You can do whale and dolphin watching as well when that's in season, also fishing, sea kayaking. There's a range of different activities that you can enjoy just off the coast of St. Lucia. And as you can see here, sometimes during the winter months, the whales and dolphins come as close as to the Piton, so you don't actually have to go far to see them at all. You can also make chocolate with us, one of my favorite things to do, because it's something a little bit different that the whole family can enjoy. So if they want to take some time, spend a couple of hours away from the sea, I know everybody, divers love to be in the water, but if they want to do something different, you can definitely make chocolate down in Soufrière as well. A couple of new tours that I want to mention. You can do bamboo rafting with us as well now, and also see-through kayak, something that other family members who particularly don't dive could also enjoy. This is touching our delicious cuisine. We do a lot of farm to table installation because we are a volcanic island, so a lot of our crops grow quite beautifully. So you can really enjoy a range of different cuisines. If you have clients who have any dietary requirements, the more information you can let the resorts know, they can definitely make sure that they cater to them as much as possible. And you can also learn to cook in St. Lucia as well by doing a Cook Like a Lucian class. You can visit our rum distillery if you want to try any of our rums or beers that we make in St. Lucia. And also, as I mentioned, you can make chocolate as well. And just to touch on that, our accommodation. So I mentioned before, we have over 5,000 rooms available, ranging from your all-inclusives, your boutique properties, your villas, your inns. So there's definitely something for everybody's taste and budget. We do also categorize all of our small properties with anything with 5 rooms or less under a collection called Collection de Pépites, which simply translate from Creole to English as collection of small nuggets or small gems. And that's where you can find any boutique sort of properties that you're looking for if you're not looking for some of those larger resorts. We have an amazing calendar of events ranging from a jazz festival to carnival. We do have a Dive Fest that takes place in September. The dates for this year is the 15th to 21st of September. We also celebrate Creole heritage as well during October. You can visit the Girls Lane Street Party every Friday night, and also the Atlantic Rally for Cruisers come to St. Lucia every year in December, and they get to not only sail across the Atlantic to St. Lucia, but really get to enjoy what the island has to offer. Just some more information on our Dive Fest. So Dive Fest includes a range of activities from reef cleanups to lionfish derbies and cook-offs to photography competition, and also coral outplanting as well. If you have any clients who are going to be in St. Lucia during that time and they want to be a part of the Dive Fest, so that you have anybody who would be interested in booking, you can definitely book them a package now and visit contact the Dive Fest team, and they'll be able to share more information on the package and what's available. And I know Anne Chasney and Jade Mountain, they do offer a dive package as well. So they'll be able to share those details with you on what's available for this year. There's a couple of quick facts. So we have direct flights from the UK with British Airways, Virgin Atlantic, and TUI. British Airways offers a daily service out of London Gatwick. Virgin Atlantic offers a seasonal service out of London Heathrow, and also TUI offers a once-a-week service out of London Gatwick. Transfer time is about approximately 90 minutes by road and by ferry, but we do also have a helicopter transfer as well, which can take about 10 minutes for you to transfer between the north and the south of the island. We accept two currencies in St. Lucia island-wide, the Eastern Caribbean dollar and the US dollar. You can change those before you depart for St. Lucia, or also there are various banks and ATMs around the island where you can obtain those currencies. All that we ask that your passport is valid for the trip to St. Lucia. You do not require 6 months, and British and Irish passport holders do not require a visa to travel to St. Lucia. We have great range of internet and mobile connectivity throughout the island. You can also purchase local SIM cards, also a wide range of taxis and rental services as well, and also a good public transport network. So just a little recap on our flight service. We also have great connection out of North America as well. So for those who do have North American clients, we have daily flights from the likes of Miami, New York, with the likes of American Airlines, JetBlue, Delta, etc., from Atlanta as well. So great connections down to St. Lucia. And we also have those great flights. You can get up to 12 flights a week out of the UK down into St. Lucia, all within 8 hours. Just a reminder of our electronic immigration forms. Please, any clients you have going to St. Lucia, please ask them to complete those forms before they depart. We no longer give out those immigration cards on the aircraft. If they don't have it on arrival into St. Lucia, they will be asked to step to a side to complete that. It takes about 10 minutes. They will need to have a copy of their passport on their phones that they can upload the documents. But we're trying to just encourage our visitors to St. Lucia to complete that, because we are a little slow as transitioning over. So please remind your clients they can complete that up to 3 days before departing. Just a quick image here of those two transfer services that we offer. We offer the ferry transfer and also the helicopter transfer as well. And one unique fact is that Jade Mountain is the only resort on Ireland with their own helipad. So if you have clients going to Jade Mountain, they will be able to transfer from the airport directly to Jade, and then just a little short transfer down, a couple of minutes down into their sanctuary. But I'm not going to spoil all the fun for you. I will let Fiona share the rest with you in just a second. If you're not a St. Lucia expert, please sign up and register for our online training program. There we do amazing rewards, quarterly rewards, monthly rewards sometimes. And at the end of the year, we look at everybody who's logged their bookings to St. Lucia, and we invite you to an all expense paid trip called our Global Peter Awards, where we get to reward you and say thank you to you for booking St. Lucia and for being a Global Peter Award. I know we do have a Global Peter Award 2020 winner on the call. So I'm sure I can tell you guys in the chat box that, doing your bookings to St. Lucia, we do really say thank you and reward you with an amazing trip. I know this year we had a few challenges, but we do love to say thank you to our agents for booking us. And also being a St. Lucia expert as well, you do get the opportunity to use our SLAM program, St. Lucia Asian Mums, where you can get discounts on hotels in St. Lucia, excursions, and also independent restaurants as well. So I will share the brochure with you at the end of the webinar in my follow-up, and also any other, like our dive center brochures and any other brochures that we have. Now, without further ado, I'm going to share with you a little video on St. Lucia, which is hopefully going to show you the island in motion for those who haven't been, and for those who are going, to just get you prepared for your trip in the next coming months or the next year.
to the Pitos. Chill while the breeze blow, baby, and I wanna ride on the East Coast. Bad and bougie like amigos. I wanna feel you. Come and lock me like a cheat code. I can pack it up and you can move it like a repo. Come to town, I'll take you around pretty St. Lucia. Come to town, I'll take you around pretty St. Lucia. Going bars on the beat, swimming in Soufritte. Sipping on Chairman's and Cranberry, got a couple of my links on the way. Take a line by Island Breeze, listen to the ocean speak. Bet you say you're never gonna leave. I'm in town, let me take you around pretty St. Lucia. It's my town, I'ma take you around pretty St. Lucia. Pretty St. Lucia. Come to town, I'll take you around pretty St. Lucia. Come to town, I'll take you around pretty St.
I hope
Lucia.
that she's inspired you to want to visit St. Lucia, to send your clients to St. Lucia. We'd love you to stay connected with us. So definitely follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, on X, and don't forget to register on our training program if you've not done so as yet. But I will also send you a link in my follow-up email. So thank you so much for allowing me to share my bit of paradise with you. Every time I watch that video, she makes me want to fall in love with her over again. And I'm only back from St. Lucia a week and I'm ready to go again. So she's definitely something special. And I definitely believe that everybody who visits St. Lucia falls in love with her. So thank you. And now I'm going to hand over to Fiona, who's going to tell you all about Anne Chastanet and Jade Mountain. And then we'll go into Scuba St. Lucia with Jaco.
Thank you so much, Nicole, and thanks to everyone for taking the time to join me today and join us on this webinar. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, I think I'm going to have that Pretty St. Lucia song in my head for the rest of the day. It's really great, isn't it?
It is.
Okay. So I'm going to take about 10 minutes, maybe a little bit less, to tell you a brief overview on Jade Mountain and Anne Chastanet before handing over to Jaco, who will be telling you all about Scuba St. Lucia, which is based just down here on Anne Chastanet Beach. So I'm sure you're all familiar with Anne Chastanet and Jade Mountain. We're 1 hour from the international airport, and we're located right opposite the beautiful Pitons, which, as Nicole has said, are a UNESCO World Heritage Site. So Jade Mountain is just here, and Anne Chastanet is just down here by the beach. And as Nicole mentioned, we have our own private helipad as well. Anne Chastanet Beach is just down here where Scuba St. Lucia are located, and we have a second beach, Ants Mamin Beach, which right behind it we have the ruins of a sugar plantation where you can go bird watching or hiking or even mountain biking as well. And just in the middle here, I don't want to steal too much of Jaco's presentation, we have what I believe is a reef called Turtle Reef. I think I'm right there, but I'm sure I'll be corrected later if needs be, where you can snorkel with turtles quite easily as well. So by road, it takes 1 hour. By helicopter, it takes about 6 minutes. So very easy door to door. We have our beautiful beach here, of course, beautiful sea views, and the beaches in the south, of course, are more golden sands. Ants Mamin Beach is our second beach, and like I said, right behind there we have the ruins of an 18th century estate, and we also have our barbecue on this beach as well, so nice place to go for some casual dining in the middle of the day. Like I said, you can go bird watching as well, right behind Ants Mamin Beach in our ruins of our 18th century estate. And of course, we can hire mountain bikes, so you can go jungle biking with a guide, of course, around the 12 miles of trails that we have behind the resort. I'm not going to get into scuba diving and snorkeling. That's very much Jaco's bit, but just so you know, you can snorkel and dive directly from the shore at Anchastenay and Jade Mountain. And of course, non-motorized water sports are also included, and you get those incredible views of the pitons there as well. We have our yacht, Suzy Q, which can be chartered to take out for trips around the local area and for sunsets as well. And we also have the Jazzy Sunset Cruise, which you can take out to look at dolphins in the evening, watch the sun go down, and listen to some fabulous jazz music. Like Nicole mentioned, very close to Jade Mountain and Anchastenay, we have a lot of the interesting sites. So we have the drive-through volcano and where we can go, and the spa, which Nicole also mentioned. We also offer yoga classes twice a week as well on a complimentary basis. At Anchastenay, we have 49 rooms and suites, 37 of which are on the hillside, a short walk down the hill to the beach. And the rest of our rooms and suites are on the beach, so you can walk just around the corner and out onto the beach, so you don't have to tackle the hill to get back up to your room. As you can see, it's a very Caribbean feel to the hotel. We have locally made furniture, locally made fabrics as well, so it really does have a strong sense of place. Many of the rooms have the fourth wall missing, similar to Jade Mountain, and some of them have beautiful piton views as well, which really, really is one of the key things about Anchastenay and Jade Mountain. So down by the beach, we have the beachside deluxe rooms, and we also have a beach house that I'll tell you more about shortly. And we also have our one-of-a-kind Casuarina suite, which has its own infinity pool. So if you have guests perhaps who want to stay for an entire week at Jade Mountain, but perhaps they can't afford it, then perhaps they could stay a few nights here in this suite and then a few nights at Jade Mountain afterwards. This is a beach house, which is directly behind the beach, so very easy to get to and from the beach and the scuba centre as well. As you can see, the beach is just behind these fences right here. And of course, we celebrate the Creole heritage. I think this lady here is making cocoa tea, which is one of the most lovely things I've ever had in St. Lucia. And of course, all of the staff as well wear a lot of the locally sourced fabrics. We have a number of restaurants at Anchastenay. So Jade Mountain guests can use all of these Anchastenay restaurants, and we have one dedicated Anchastenay restaurant that is only for Anchastenay guests. So Balawu is our seafood restaurant. Please bear in mind that even though we have a dedicated vegan restaurant, all of the restaurants also have a vegan menu. We have a beach grill, which is more casual for lunch. And in the evenings, we have Apsara, which is our Caribbean Indian fusion restaurant. And over by Ants Mamim, I mentioned previously, we have a barbecue. One of the best fish burgers I've ever had was from here. It's really very good indeed. We do lots of private beach dining options as well. And that's very popular. We do recommend booking that in advance. And here we have our chefs who can also offer you cookery lessons as well. A lot of our food, a lot of our menus even, are farm to table or sea to table. And we also have a brand new microbrewery on the estate as well. And we'll serve that beer in our bars and restaurants. Chocolate is one of our favourite things in St. Lucia, and we do chocolate with everything here. So we have a chocolate laboratory. You can learn to make chocolate. You can have a chocolate massage, a chocolate facial, and you can also have chocolate tea, which is very, very nice indeed. We can also teach you all about the process of making chocolate, and you can even make chocolate yourself to take home with you. We do a lot of activities at Anchastenay and Jade Mountain, including art classes. And on the right-hand side here, you can see Carolyn Trubetskoy, who is Nick Trubetskoy's wife. So Carolyn runs Jade Mountain and Anchastenay. Nick is the architect. And then we're going to move on to the sister property, Jade Mountain. Jade Mountain is an absolutely beautiful, unique, one-of-a-kind property. It's a real architectural feat. So everything here was built by hand. All of these sanctuaries, 29 of them, have infinity pools apart from the lead-in sanctuaries. So please bear that in mind for clients if they're expecting to have this view here, this whole setup here for their Jade Mountain experience. Please book them one of the room categories up from the bottom, which obviously will have that infinity pool. But all of the rooms do have beautiful views of the pitons. So every single sanctuary has its own bridge going into it. And at the top here, we have the Celestial Terrace where you can do yoga in the mornings or sunset cocktails in the evenings. And like I said, the architecture is absolutely phenomenal here. It's an adults only property, of course, and you can book it on bed and breakfast, half board or all inclusive. Each one of these infinity pools is a different color, and the glass that it's made out of is made specifically for Jade Mountain. It's a very romantic resort. Really, we only get couples here. And like I said, each one of these infinity pools has a different color. Each one of the rooms as well has a missing fourth wall. They are very, very private, and the wind does blow through, which gives you a lovely cool breeze. So you end up not missing the air conditioning at all. And then, of course, we have our Jade Mountain Club, which is our exclusive restaurant just for Jade Mountain guests. And on top of Jade Mountain Club, we have the Celestial Terrace that I mentioned previously. So I hope that gives you a brief overview on the hotels. I'm going to hand over now to Jaco, who can give you all the ins and outs of diving in St. Lucia and diving at Scuba St. Lucia particularly. Just a note before he gets started though, when I went diving with Scuba St. Lucia, when I recently went to Jade Mountain, I've got to say Scuba St. Lucia are one of the few dive resorts I've ever been to where they really are careful and check that you are able to dive before going diving. As I was fairly inexperienced, this was such a good thing, and I would seriously recommend it for all levels. So over to you, Jaco. Would you like to share your screen, or would you like to remotely control this?
Hi, everybody. I think I should have my screen sharing at the moment. Can you see the screen?
Yes, we can see Let's Go Diving.
Okay, great. Hi, welcome everybody. Thank you. Welcome to, and thank you, Fiona, for telling us all about Anse Chastanay and Jade Mountain. It's probably one of the most amazing properties that I have seen in my entire life. That's why I'm so fond of the property. I've worked there for a long time as well, lived on the island, and I ran Scuba St. Lucia for a while as well. So I'm going to take you a little bit through the scuba diving. So as we go along, let me just make sure I get everything going 100%. You should be seeing a map of St. Lucia with all the different dive sites. Now, as you know, Nicole has explained as well, this is sort of the area where the diving is taking place. As you notice, on the left leeward side, you'll see most of the dive sites are situated here in the marine park. And Scuba St. Lucia is here where you see the town of Soufrière, which means Anse Chastanay, Jade Mountain, Scuba St. Lucia is in the heart of the marine reserve, which means our boats do not have to travel long distances in order to take you to the different dive sites. Not to sort of make a negative point, but if you would stay way up in the north and you want to spend a lot of time diving, you have to drive all the way down to do your diving and then go back up to the north again. This way you can experience the diving, and you can also experience the culture of Anse Chastanay, St. Lucia and Jade Mountain, because you're right back after the dive sites itself. Fiona has explained to you Jade Mountain, which is situated up here on the hill. You see this beautiful structure, and Anse Chastanay in this hillside built up into it. And as you see here in the bottom right, in the corner with the red roofs, the dive center is located with your first dive, the Anse Chastanay Reef. As you notice, you swim out on the ocean or out on the beach here, you have a beautiful wall dive right in front that takes you around about 18 meters down, which is a straight wall dive. You can do a beautiful wall dive and you come back on the top reef, which is an amazing dive site to do. One of the top dive sites in St. Lucia to do as well. Anse Chastanay is also well known for beautiful new reefs because of the marine authority, the Soufrière Marine Authority that has protected the reefs in the last sort of 30-40 years. So as you go in, you'll notice amazingly new reefs as you go in. It's a great opportunity for snorkeling as well, because you can go straight from the beach, you can go straight onto that reef and snorkel that without, you know, having to swim long distances as well. One thing about St. Lucia that I can generally say is if you bring your guests there or you arrive as a guest, you arrive as a guest and you will leave as a family member. This is something that the staff does amazingly at our resort. You've been welcome and you've been treated like a king while you're staying there with us as well. This is a nice little picture showing Scuba St. Lucia, which is situated right on the beach. You can literally walk in from the beach straight into the water, and you can do the beautiful Anse Chastanet reef as well. Now, we have a couple of boats that you can choose from, so we can cater to different groups, different sizes of people as well. These are our standard boats that we're using, which is our Miss Aina, Miss Bertha, Miss Tata, so they can really take people quickly to a dive site and back out again. And we've recently added also Miss Bobsy, which is a 42-foot Arawak boat, which can take larger groups, which are also used for the sunset cruises. Now, just a little story, we always name our boats after ex-staff that used to work with us, like Miss Aina, Miss Bobsy, and for instance, this is Miss Bobsy coming back from retirement and baptizing her own boat, which is Miss Bobsy, which you're diving onto as well. Questions about diving equipment. We are a full PADI 5-star facility, so we offer all the amazing dive equipment that you need, which is tanks, which is either valves or yoke inserts. We also have full BCDs and regulator rentals that we can do. We offer full nitrox facility as well. So we are a full facility that caters for all your equipment. You can either bring your own diving equipment. We always supply the weights, the tanks, the mast fins, and snorkels with that as well. But if you need to rent a regulator or rent a BCD, our facility can obviously cater that for you. This is our playground that you see here. Beautiful view to the two pitons, Anse Chastanet in the left-hand side. So this is where our diving takes place. This is the Marine Reserve of St. Lucia, and this is where you go diving. You can do a nice little 2-tank dive in the morning, a single dive in the morning, and you can do a beautiful shore diving in the afternoon as well. So most of the diving is quick, it's easy, it takes you quickly to the dive sites and quickly back to the resort. As Fiona was mentioning, the resort offers so much that you don't want to spend too much time away from the resort. You can come back and you can choose from all the different restaurants and have your lunch with your family or with a group that you want to have there as well. Or maybe in the afternoon do an adventure trip and go and hike the pitons, or go to the the volcanoes, the springs, and or do the botanical gardens, zip lining. There's so much you can do as well. As you enter Anse Chastanet Reef, you'll be welcomed with beautiful new reefs, lots of macro photography as well. So St. Lucia is known for macro photography. We don't have big pelagics like big mantas or big sharks, but you are welcomed with abundance of variety of fish life, abundance of reef life, colorful reefs that you can see as well. This is just a beautiful picture just showing the gogonias, lots of juvenile fish, lots of color on the reef as well. So this is what you'll get on Chastanet Reef. Great for photography if you have photographers that enters the reef as well. Just around the corner from us is our first further dive site that we do with a boat, which is called Fairyland. Fairyland sort of explains the dive site. It's just beautiful colors, beautiful fish life again, and lots of different types of varieties. We also have Superman there, if anybody wants to look at it. Superman is just one dive site that we do. It's called Superman's Flight. It's well known because it has a little bit of small current. Now, most of our dives that you do is drift diving, which means you drop off and you just slowly go with the current. It's not a big current like people normally know from the Maldives or something like that, but you can really just cruise down the reef and you sort of feel like you're doing Superman's Flight. That's the reef that we do there. This is a typical sort of picture profile from Superman's Flight. You've got a beautiful top reef on the top there, and then it just slowly slopes down. You can see beautiful sponge corals, beautiful sponges, beautiful gogonias on the reef. And it's just beautiful, colorful that you get there itself. We also have a dive site right in front of Anse Chastanet called Turtle Reef, and we're well known to sort of get the green turtles on the reef as well. A lot of times we always get the hawksbill turtles hatching on our beach itself. It's just a beautiful picture from a little hawksbill swimming back into the water as well. Dive site close to Soufriere, which is just around the corner from Anse Chastanet, literally like about 7 minutes away, is Pinnacles. There's literally 2 pinnacles that sticks out of the water, and you can literally do like a figure of 8 down deep and then work your way up these pinnacles. Beautiful, like a wall top of dive that you can do there, but also great for macro photography again. experience that. About 50 minutes to the north of us, we have our two wrecks, which is called the Leslie M and the Vicky B. They've been purposely scuttled there for artificial reefs as well. The Vicky B is the latest one. Leslie M has been there in like 40 years already, but they've already has beautiful, beautiful coral reefs growing on top of them as well. It's a very standard dive, so you don't need to be an experienced diver to do that. So it's a beautiful dive to do, 60 feet down on the bottom. So it's a really nice one. Also, the wrecks offer fantastic macro photography, so that's also if somebody's into that as well. Then we also have coral spawning taking place. Now, coral spawning takes place 7 days after the full moon in August in the Caribbean, and this is about 3 or 4 days where different corals spawn. So a lot of times groups come out during that time, where we do extra diving for them, or you can sort of do individual diving there. And this is amazing time to be in the water, sort of the Rio Festival, but in St. Lucia on the reefs. It's beautiful to see the corals spawning here. Then we also offer really nice interactive programs for people. So we do like turtle talks, where we can sit around, look at different videos and photography that has been taken during the reefs, talk about how they've been created, what type of fish life they are, talk about fish behavior. So we talk a lot about different types of fish that we basically see around our reefs as well. Here, for instance, the flameback angelfish is very rare, but we have that on our reefs in St. Lucia. Also the candy, basslet, which is really nice. So as you can see, good for photography as well, but also good talks in the evening to sort of see what you can spot on the reefs as well. Fish behavior is also very popular for us as well. We talk about how fish behaves. For instance, here you see a beautiful picture of the back brutulus. They are very rare, and we find them at the Anse-Chastanay Reef. On the right is a beautiful jawfish keeping his fish eggs in his mouth as well. That's a fish behavior talk. Or you can have the hamlets, which is at dusk, where you see the mating underwater. So these are type of dives that you can do with some of our dive guides, and they will explain to you what the different behaviors are. It's not just looking at a fish swimming, but also sort of seeing what they do underwater and how they create and what is their sort of relationship with different types of actions that they do there. At Anse-Chastanay, we're also very much involved in the ecosystem, not also Jade Mountain at Anse-Chastanay, where we do our own water management and things like that, but also underwater. We do our coral nursery program. We have reef cleaning programs that we do with our local staff and also with the local community. And we have a program called Eat Them to Beat Them, which I'll come to in a few seconds there. So our coral restoration is where we create coral farming. Most of you have probably heard about that, where we take from certain areas small pieces of coral, plant them onto this little structure in an area where they grow really well, and then after about a year we will replant them on the reef. So we grow about 250 corals in a year. We've got about 4 or 5 stations, so we can literally plant over 1,000 pieces of corals every year on different types of reefs. What we also do is eat them to beat them. Most of you have probably heard that the lionfish, which is not normally endemic to the Caribbean, has created quite a bit of problems in the Caribbean. And what they do is that they literally feed on the juvenile fish and killing the fish population. They do not belong in St. Lucia. So what we've done is we've created a program called Eat Them to Beat Them, which means we hunt them and get rid of them on the reef so they don't kill our local population as well. They are fantastic fish to eat. The locals love them. You can make really good fish curry out of them as well. And if you want to, you can have a nice little lionfish dinner with your group after you've hunted them on the beach as well. So those are different things that you can do with us. It's an adventurous area. Anse-Chastanay, St. Lucia, and also just St. Lucia itself is probably one of the areas that you can have an amazing adventure, an amazing experience, enjoy the colorful underwater life that you can do, and that we can offer you straight in the heart of the Marine Reserve with 2 properties, Anse-Chastanay, Jade Mountain. And I just wanted to introduce you, like Fiona's mentioned, Carolyn Trubetskoy. She's the Executive Director of Marketing and Operations. She is the owner of Anse-Chastanay Jade Mountain together with her husband. As Fiona said, Nick is the architect, and Carolyn runs the facility, and she sends her regards to everybody in this presentation. I hope you've enjoyed that. I'm open to questions, and I think also that Nicole and Fiona would also answer those questions, but I'm happy to help you in any way there. Thank you so much.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Fiona, and also Jaco, for that amazing presentation. I could see the chat, people were just mesmerized by the information and the images. We do have a question for you, Jaco,
Yes.
or Fiona. Scott has asked, how do the dive packages compare to the rates in the Maldives? Is that something that you know?
I can easily go for it. What we have is our rate packages are slightly cheaper than the Maldives. The Maldives also have an additional charge of boat fees to that. So you have your regular rates that you pay for diving, and on top of that, you still pay for boats that you go out. Our dive packages includes the boats as well. So they are a lot cheaper than what you have in the Maldives as well. And also you don't have that long distances to travel.
Perfect, thank you. I think Daryl has asked, what is the cost for diving, or the basic cost?
Oh, now somebody has really caught me. At scubasaintlucia.com, you have all our rates is basically on there as well. So if you go to scubasaintlucia.com, you'll have the rate packages there, and there's different options of you to take, which is a 10 dive package or a 5 dive package or an individual package. But also Anne Chastanet and Jade Mountain also offers an all-inclusive package where you can have it combined with your stays. You can have maybe a week stay, including a full board, including a 10 dive package or something. So there's quite a few packages that you can choose from there as well.
Perfect, thank you. But there was a question from Scott about wreck. Do you do any wreck dives? But you did answer that in the presentation.
Correct. Yeah, there's the 2 wrecks that we have there. Like I mentioned, it's a very basic wreck. It's not a technical dive. It's 60 feet deep, so you're looking at about 18, 20 meters down to the bottom. And the top of the reef is really like, 7, 8, 9 meters on the top there. So it's very easy to finish your dive, end up on the top, and then finish your dive.
Perfect, thank you. And Ian has asked, is there any diving on the Atlantic side and any wrecks?
There is a wreck on the southern part of the resort, or southern part of St. Lucia, but unfortunately, due to weather conditions, it's very hard to plan and dive. St. Lucia is, we are situated in the leeward side, so you basically have on the windward side quite rough weather, so it's quite difficult to get out there with the boats itself. So there's no dive sites that we dive on the windward side, and also the wreck to the south, we do not dive due to depth and due to strong currents and not really easy to predict weather conditions down there.
Perfect, thank you. And I think one more question is, what is the deepest dive site on island?
Oh, you can dive as deep as you want. Okay. The dive sites in St. Lucia is very well known to be shallow dives. You're looking like 10, 20, 30 meters maximum. And then there's a slope most of the dives that goes down. So after like about 20 meters of diving, it sort of goes into a sandy slope going down. So we really do not have any major deep dives there. Most of our dives are literally done 10, 15, 20, 25 meters. Deeper like that, you can probably go, but most of your scenic areas in St. Lucia is situated, I would say, between 10 and 25 meters.
Thank you. I've got a question from Daryl. What is the requirement for diving before flying home?
I think that's most of the international laws and rules with
Yes.
that as well. So we normally calculate 24 hours with it, but obviously if you're diving according to computer or something, you can sort of, go down to like 18 hours or something. But if you've been diving a whole week, the general recommendation is sort of make sure that you have a minimum of 12 hours before you fly out. But generally 24 hours is sort of calculated as a no dive before you fly out, depending on the amount of diving that you've done.
Yes, perfect, thank you. And Scott has asked, do you do 15-liter tanks or 12, or all 12?
We have both available. We have 3 different types of tanks available there as well. So you can choose from small, medium, or really large as well.
Perfect, thank you. Any more questions, guys? I know some of the guys who are heading on our dive fam, you had a lot of burning questions, so this is a perfect time to tackle Jaco and get him to answer them all for you.
You're going to meet these beautiful people there, so ask your questions now.
Yes. And I echo Fiona. I did the dive fam last year as well, and Scuba St. Lucia is definitely one of the ones who I felt comfortable not being a diver myself and being able to do it for the first time. I felt very comfortable, and it was just an amazing experience. And I actually did say by this year I was going to do my certification online before going to St. Lucia, but my colleague Ayana is going to be hosting the trip, but I still will. So the next time that I go down, I'll be able to be certified and get down and do some diving. So Beth has a question. Are dive computers available as part of the equipment or equipment rental? Sorry.
Sorry, is what available?
So are dive equipment available as part of the are dive computers available as part of the equipment rental?
No, that's additional. So if you need a dive computer, because dive computer is very individual to people. So if you need a dive computer, but we can rent that for you as well.
Okay, thank you. Are the computers air integrated?
No, they're not.
No, thank you. And Jean's, oh, Jean, I think that might be a personal question for me. She was asking if she needs to bring anything with them or everything will be available. No, you
Bring some
don't.
Nutella to the island.
No, Jean, the center is fully equipped with everything that you need for diving. So unless you want to bring anything personal, like if you have a dive computer or anything, you want to bring those, you're more than welcome to do so. Scott has asked, are SBMs used?
SBMs?
SMBs, sorry.
Submersible,
SMBs.
you mean the buoys when we're diving?
Yeah,
Is that what you mean?
Mark.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, sorry, no, they're used on all our dives. Because we're doing drift diving, you always have the dive leader is always leading the dive, and you always have a submersible buoy on the surface there, so the boat always follows you and follows the dive guide.
Perfect, thank you. I can see him nodding. I think that's all the questions, guys. Thank you so much for everybody who's tuned in today. If you have any other questions, definitely reach out to myself, drop me an email, and I can direct them over to the guys at Scuba St. Lucia if I'm unable to answer them for you. Or I will also share their details, like Carolyn will have your details as well, so she can also follow up with you. And hopefully she's on Ireland. Those who are going down in September, you will get to meet her. So thank you to my co-hosts, Fiona and Jaco, for being on this webinar with us today. It is recorded, so I will go ahead and share the recording with you this afternoon. So if you want to watch anything back, if you missed anything or take any further notes, you'll be welcome to do so. So yes, thank you again. Oh, amazing. I love that you've learned so much on this webinar. So thank you guys for joining us. And we'll see you all soon. We will be picking some people at random to go ahead and give some prizes to for those who've been asking us questions in the chat box. So look out for that in your emails, and I will also send you all the follow-up information as well. Thank you.
Hey, thank you very much. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you, Fiona. Hey, thank you guys for watching this as well. And we look forward to welcome you at the Let Her Inspire Your Island. Definitely, she will inspire you when you're there.
Indeed. Thank you, Jaco. Bye, everybody.